The Avatar will find you. She has just entered the spirit world.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So the Legend of Korra is back after a 1-week break with the guide. Korra gets into the spirit world with the help of Jinora, and we find out how Unalaq is working with Vaatu. Let's talk about our favorite moments, and then I'll do a review. First things first, let's start off with some humor. Welcome to the I Disappoint Dad Club. That's right, Tenzin was basically getting dumped on in this episode. It was kind of unfortunate, but it was just meant to show us that Jinora is really the one that's going to take Korra on this next leg of her journey into the spirit world. They also paid off that moment from earlier in the season when Korra opened the spirit portal and the statue of Wan lit up. I was a little disappointed that the episode ended right after Korra and Jinora entered the spirit world, but it sounds like they're on their way to where the portals are so they can close the other one. If you remember in the beginning's double episode, they really didn't explain if closing the portals or keeping them closed would prevent harmonic convergence, or if they both needed to be open, but it's kind of implied that they both need to be open for it to happen the way it's supposed to happen. But the real big moment was finally seeing Vaatu and Unalaq working together. It was really interesting to see that basically Vaatu has probably just been talking to Unalaq this whole time, his whole life. I predicted earlier in the season that the Bender twins would actually join forces with Team Korra against their father, and it looks like they kind of started that journey in this episode. The other big question I had this season was when they teased the new bending style, they were obviously talking about transforming dark spirits. They don't really have a name for the actual form right now. Like, it's not like blood bending or something bending with like a bending surname. It's just called transforming dark spirits. Back in Capital City, I actually feel like with the Varrick Asami Mako plot, that Asami is going to be the one to actually end up rescuing Mako from jail. She'll be the one to kind of put the clues together and defeat Varrick. Obviously, I kind of expected Vaatu to fuse with Unalaq in this episode, but that still might happen because one of the next episodes is actually called A New Spiritual Age, and it's only episode 10, and there's 14 in the season, so clearly something really dramatic is going to happen in the next episode. We just don't know what it's going to be yet. That was actually one of the most talked about things after the last episode, a dark avatar. If Rava can fuse with a bender and make the avatar, then can't Vaatu fuse with another bender and make a dark avatar? Obviously, part of being the avatars is having mastery of all of the elements, and Unalaq clearly doesn't have that yet, but he still might be able to become incredibly powerful by fusing with Vaatu. But what did I think of the episode? Well, Beginnings is actually my favorite episode of the season, and it still is. But this episode is actually basically like my next favorite right after that, just because we're actually moving forward in the plot now. We have a clear enemy, we know what we have to do to defeat them, and we have a ticking clock. Harmonic convergence is coming, so basically once that comes, it's basically go time. I really like the way they tease Jinora being this spiritual guide for Korra. Obviously you feel really bad for Tenzin just because he's trying so hard, but clearly Jinora just has this natural ability. I'd be really interested to see where they go in the next episode because obviously they're in a very green, fertile area, and the place where Vaatu is basically this desolate wasteland. So two big things that are going to be happening in the next couple of episodes. One, Vaatu has to get out somehow, and two, the Northern Spirit Portal has to be opened. And Vaatu can't do that. Only the Avatar can do that. So clearly, there's probably going to be a Dark Avatar in the next couple of episodes, but we can lay bets. Let me know what you think. So we know the titles for the remaining episodes this season, including the 2-part finale, and it kind of gives us an idea about where things are headed from here. Next week is A New Spiritual Age. That might be the episode where Vaatu fuses with Unalaq. Next week after that is a 2-part episode. Part 1 is called Night of a Thousand Stars, and then Part 2 is called Harmonic Convergence. So obviously Korra isn't going to be successful in closing both the spirit portals. They're going to be open and harmonic convergence will happen. The week after that is another 2-part episode. It's the 2-part finale. Part 1 is called Darkness Falls, and then Part 2, the final episode, is called The Light in the Dark. So what that kind of implies is that Vaatu will escape, harmonic convergence will happen, and he and Unalaq, either together or separately, will defeat Korra, at least temporarily, and then obviously she'll rally in the final episode and imprison Vaatu again, or kill Unalaq. Killing really isn't part of the Avatar's character, so obviously what I think is going to happen is that Vaatu is going to fuse with Unalaq, become the Dark Avatar, Korra will defeat them finally, and then basically trap them in the spirit world. 10,000 years is a long time to be trapped with someone. I hope they brought a book to read. But answer this question in the comments below. If Unalaq is killed as the Dark Avatar, does that mean that he too will be reincarnated over and over again, just like Rava and Korra would? I'll be posting my Korra video next week right after the episode airs. Be sure to subscribe to get it. Don't forget we have Korra every single weekend until the season's over, so it's going to be really exciting. And 2 of those weeks will be double episodes. I'm also posting a new Walking Dead video on Sunday. In the meantime, you can click here to watch all my other Legend of Korra from this season, and you can click here to catch up on all my Walking Dead videos from this year. Thanks so much for watching. High five. See you guys this weekend.